Hello everybody, today I'll be talking about my most anticipated films of 2019. 2019 is gonna be a huge year for cinema. We have tons of movies. Disney especially is coming out with many movies. It's probably gonna be Disney's best year ever. But yeah, we're getting tons of remakes, sequels, and original films that I'm very excited for. So while scripting for this 2019 most anticipated video, I decided to just look back to my most anticipated films of 2018 by watching my most anticipated of 2018 video. And that video was just pure cringe. It was so bad, and hopefully this video will be a bit better than that one. There are so many movies releasing next year that it's hard to choose which ones you want to put in this list. At least for me, it was very difficult because I'm excited for a lot of movies. So this time around, I do have 5 honorable mentions. I have Us, directed by Jordan Peele. This is the same director of Get Out. I'm extremely excited for this movie. I don't know much about it, but I don't think I'm gonna watch any trailers for it. I just wanna go in blind and watch what this is. It's another horror movie by him, and I'm very anticipating it. My next honorable mention is Happy Death Day to You, directed by Christopher Landon. This is the same director who directed the original, which the original was a very big surprise of 2017 for me at least, because I decided not to watch it in the cinemas, and then after a few months I ended up watching it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of those really fun horror movies. It wasn't a great movie, but it was definitely fun and enjoyable. Next up, we have How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, directed by Dean DeBlois. Now, I wasn't a very big fan of the trailers for this film, but I love the How to Train Your Dragon series so much that I think that this movie is going to be pretty good. They have been doing a pretty good job. I thought that How to Train Your Dragon 2 was better than the original, and if this movie can even, be semi-near how good How to Train Your Dragon 2 was, I think we're gonna have a really damn good movie. My next honorable mention is Aladdin, directed by Guy Ritchie. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't really think that this movie will be good. The director has some really great films, but some of his films are really bad as well. I just have a little bit of a bad feeling about this one. But because it is Aladdin, one of my favorite animated movies, I have to put it on this list. Now, my next honorable mention is Alita Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez. Now, I don't know much about the source material this movie is based on, but I just really love the trailers and they got me really excited. So yeah, these honorable mentions, I'm really excited for all of them, but they just sadly couldn't make the list because I have so many other movies that I'm so excited for. At number 10, I have Brightburn, directed by David Yarovesky. So the trailer for this film came out 1 or 2 weeks ago, and it really surprised me. So I didn't know much about this movie until I watched the trailer. I watched the trailer and I thought it was a lame Man of Steel ripoff in the first half of the trailer, and then it just changes direction so suddenly, and I feel like this movie is just gonna be awesome. The tonal change in this trailer is just so surprising. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in the second half of the trailer, but just definitely watch the trailer and it'll surprise you. I really love the idea for this film. I'm sure it's been done in some sort of comic book before, but it just seems very original. We haven't seen it in any of the movies. At 9th place, I have Men in Black International, directed by F. Gary Gray. So the main reason this is on my list is because when I was little, me and my dad watched the Men in Black series obsessively, especially the first one. We really loved the first one. The second one was not that great, and the third one was pretty good as well. But yeah, we just watched Men in Black all the time. It was one of our favorite movies to watch, and Men in Black International, the trailer came out today, the day I'm recording this, and it looks like a really fun time at the cinemas. The trailer wasn't great, it wasn't bad either, it just looked like a really fun time in the cinemas, which is what I'm hoping for in a Men in Black movie. The cast for this movie is also really great. You have Liam Neeson, Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson. I'm actually a big fan of Tessa Thompson. She picks really interesting roles in her movies, and I think that she's a very good actress. And Chris Hemsworth, he's Thor, so how can you go wrong? At number 8, we have John Wick: Parabellum, directed by Chad Stahelski. Now, I'm actually a really big fan of the John Wick series. I love the first 2 films. The first one, I think it's a masterpiece. I don't know if that's a unpopular opinion or not, but I think the first John Wick is so good, and I think it's definitely a masterpiece. You know, the second John Wick is also pretty good, but it's not as good as the original. But the second John Wick has some great action. I'll say the second John Wick actually has some better action than the first John Wick, but then again, the second John Wick has some story problems. But yeah, guys, everybody is saying that Mad Max Fury Road is the best action movie in the 21st century, and for me, I just think everybody's forgetting about John Wick. And I feel like even if John Wick 3 isn't great, it's definitely gonna have some great action, and for that alone, it deserves to be on my list. And guys, if this movie is good, we're gonna have a damn good trilogy. At 7th place, I have Joker, directed by Todd Phillips. So when this movie was announced, I heard a lot of backlash online. A lot of people didn't want a standalone Joker film that wasn't in the cinematic universe. For me personally, I really love these standalone movies because they give directors and filmmakers the opportunity to do something different. Also, Joaquin Phoenix is in the role, so like, how can you go wrong? Even if you were just making him play that with like some bad director, I would still put this on my list because I really want to see Joaquin Phoenix play the Joker because he's one of the best actors we have today. At 6th place, we have Toy Story 4, directed by Josh Cooley. So we are getting another Toy Story. Some people are kind of angry about this because they thought that Toy Story 3 was a perfect end to the trilogy. All I can say is I have faith for the people who work at Pixar. I think they have done a really great job with the other Toy Story sequels. I think Toy Story 3 is the best Toy Story movie. Toy Story 4 definitely has the potential to be a masterpiece. And even if it isn't good, it's not like it's gonna ruin the series. You're gonna still have the first 3 movies. But then again, Pixar has kind of made bad movies before. At 5th place, I have Star Wars Episode 9, directed by J.J. Abrams. I'm gonna be honest, the only reason that this movie is on the list is because it is an episodic Star Wars film. If this was any other series, I don't think this movie would be on the list because there's so much going against this movie. There's been so much set up in this new sequel trilogy, and it's gonna be very hard to wrap things up, and there's gonna be a lot of pressure on J.J. Abrams to make a really good movie, and right now I'm just really curious about the decisions that J.J. is gonna take in order to wrap up the trilogy. At 4th place, we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino. So 2018 was actually the year that I discovered Quentin Tarantino's work. I hadn't watched any of his movies before this year, and I instantly became a fan. My favorite Tarantino films are Pulp Fiction, as with everybody basically, and Kill Bill Volume 1. This is sadly probably going to be Quentin Tarantino's second last film with the whole 10 film thing, and then after he makes 10 films he's going to retire. But then again, this also means if he is choosing a project, he really believes in it. And this movie also has a very stacked cast that I can't wait to see. But as always, I'm just excited to see Sam Jackson. At 3rd place, I have Glass, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. So Glass is surprisingly high on this list. And because Shyamalan doesn't have a lot of consistency with his works, he makes masterpieces and then he makes the worst films ever, I think there's a solid 60% chance that this movie is going to be terrible. But then again, I cannot wait any longer for the twist in the end of Glass. At 2nd place, I have Avengers Endgame, directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. So guys, this is the next Avengers movie. Do I really have to say anything else? I don't think so. And at 1st place, my most anticipated film of 2019 is The Lion King. This 2019 reboot of The Lion King classic animated film is directed by Jon Favreau, who I'm a big fan of. He's made some great movies. And to be honest, I feel a little guilty that I have a remake on my 1st place because, you know, I should have an original movie because I'm a film enthusiast and that just puts me on like a higher level of what kind of films I have to put. But if I'm being honest, I'm most excited for this Lion King movie, and this is definitely my most anticipated film of 2019. This movie is probably going to be good. Looking at The Jungle Book, which is also directed by Jon Favreau, he did a really good job with that movie. There were some problems in that movie, but he, for the most part, did a really good job adapting it for a new audience. And guys, this is going to be the most beautiful looking animated film of all time. Yes, I said animated because this is an animated film. It is photorealistic animation, but it is still animation. Because those lines may look real, but they sure as hell aren't. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making my list and kind of just preparing and getting excited for the 2019 films. I'm extremely excited for this next year. There's going to be tons of new original movies and remakes and everything a movie fan really wants. And, you know, I can't wait to review these movies. I can't wait to put them on my 2019 best of the year list. And I can't wait for next year. It's going to be a really great year. Thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And bye-bye.